over the weekend, I was kind of like nervous. I was like, oh shit, am I going to lose everything?
You did what to the puts?
Full ported, meaning
Explain
I put every dollar of my portfolio into it.
I just came for the coffee.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah.
Today's guest is super special. I don't want to waste much time bringing her on. Give me a little test, Grandma.
Yes.
That sounds perfect. She's got the best mic out of all of us. Woo! Welcome back. This is Mitchell Goldstein, your host. We are on Questions Over Coffee. I got my co-host Christian Sump here with me today.
What up?
What's going on, man? How's life treating you?
Busy.
Busy?
Real busy.
What are you doing?
The busiest. I'm building a lot of houses, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like a learning season for me.
All right. How many houses? Where are they at? What's going on? What's new in this?
14-ish, give or take, different phases, but yeah. Like
what are you doing?
14.
What's your job?
I'm project manage them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot, bro.
Yeah.
That and family and just, it's like, I don't know. Feels like a season where God's like, grooming me to no matter what, stay focused on him, even though there can be a lot of noise.
You feel pulled in a million directions, or are you balanced?
I feel like a piece of raw steak in a lion's den in a good way.
I don't think that would last very long, though.
Depends.
Depends on who you ask. You know what they say. Well, dude, you know what? Being as busy as you are, I appreciate you making the time to make a priority out of this podcast. Of
course.
And to everybody on the back end, thank you guys. Noam, Jason, I appreciate you guys as well. And to the listener and the viewer, I appreciate you guys so much. So do us a favor. Will you hit that subscribe button? Will you give us a like? Maybe send it to a friend or a family member. We're trying to grow the channel. We're really trying to reach some people and get to as many people as possible. So with that being said, we got an amazing guest today. He's an author. It's a young guy who is a stock trader. He does day trading and he's spreading knowledge through his YouTube channel. So not only is he like capitalizing off of this stock market, he's doing an incredible job sharing that wealth of knowledge with others. So I reached out to him. I'm like, bro, can we please bring you on? Can we please pick your brain and try and find some value? Because I'm somebody who trades in the stock market and I feel like I'm not doing the best I can. I'm trying, but there's a ton to learn. So that's what we're going to try and do here today. We're going to try and learn from Brandon Rosewag, and we're going to bring him on right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Brandon Rosewag. What's up, Doug?
What's up?
Appreciate you coming on. No headphones for Brandon. He is going without them. So let me just get a real quick mic check for you.
Mic check.
Yeah, all right. If you're going to miss, I'd say miss close. Be too close, and I'll let you know if it's popping or whatever. But, dude, first, thank you for coming on.
I appreciate you having me.
No, we really appreciate it. And we started something with our third guest, Dave Heiliger, and I think we're going to try and kind of implement that. Rapid fire questions. So questions we didn't prep you on, not stock market stuff. We just kind of want to let the listener get to know you. So we're going to hit you with some random ones.
All right.
Everything all good? You good to go?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Number one, what has been your favorite age so far?
I guess, I don't know, 22, 23, 24.
Okay.
That span right there.
How old are you now?
24.
All right.
Yeah.
He's still in it. Boy's in his prime.
I like it.
Boy's in his prime. All right. Second question. What's your go-to dinner?
Lazy dinner.
Lazy dinner. I don't know. I kind of just follow a daily meal plan. I mean, I eat the same thing every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
What do you eat?
Chicken, potato, broccoli, ground turkey, eggs, sweet peas, avocados,
Nice, bro.
yogurt, egg
Nice.
whites, eggs.
Healthy eating.
Yeah.
Nice, bro.
I guess my go-to dinner, not lazy dinner, but go-to would probably be salmon, sweet potato, avocado. Yes.
That doesn't sound too lazy to me. That sounds like a little bit of work, to be honest with you.
It doesn't.
But it sounds delicious.
All right, number 3, how often do you floss?
Not too often.
Me
I don't
either.
floss, no.
I'm glad that question wasn't for me. All right. Yeah. What are you doing to us, Christian? Christian
Hey,
wrote
bro,
these,
they're
by the
supposed
way.
to be random. They're supposed to be random.
For anyone questioning the random questions, these are through Christian. So, all right, the next one. What item is worth spending more money on?
More money? I mean, For me, investing.
I knew he was going to say that. Yeah,
Investing in food. That's pretty much all I spend my money on.
Okay.
And the house.
Yeah.
That's it.
Congratulations on the house, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for
Thank
those
you.
that don't know,
deal.
Brandon just bought a house. He's living up in, we won't tell people where you live now. But
We can just say Pennsylvania.
yeah.
All
PA.
right,
And he came all the way to Baltimore
Wow,
for
really?
us. So
I didn't
we
realize
really,
that, bro.
we really appreciate you
Cool.
coming down from PA for us, bro.
Of course.
Good deal. Number 5, is your bed made right now?
Yes. Every
I
morning.
knew he was going to say yes to that.
Wow. I'm glad
He
you didn't
strikes
ask
me
me.
as that kind of a guy. Mine's not either. I know. These
You
are
want to
like,
know the last time I made my bed?
No.
I don't know. All right. What's one thing you regret spending money on?
Probably expensive clothes, bro. Growing up, I always wanted like the cool clothes, designer clothes. I mean, I got them, but it's not worth it, in my honest opinion. It's kind of like once you get them, you're like wearing Nike every day, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's probably the
Yeah.
only thing.
I'm in shorts from Walmart. So I got you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I don't know where my shorts are from. Number 7, if you could be transformed into one animal, which one would you choose and why?
I don't know. A lion, I guess.
Oh,
I thought you were going to say bull.
Or
I
a
like
bull,
that.
yeah. Actually, a bull.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
All right.
All right, that's a good question. Finish this phrase. The way to my heart is. We got him. We got him.
Sometime we had to get him.
Like, is this a girl walking up to me? Like,
Interpret it any way you want.
I don't know, stocks and money.
There it is.
All right.
There it is.
What's 7 times 8?
56.
Got it.
Ding, 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 ding. And the last one, before we get you off the hot seat, in your own terms, define spirituality.
Define spirituality. I don't even know, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Hold on. Can we cut that part real quick and then re-ask the question?
No, we're rolling.
Oh, we're rolling.
You're
Okay.
good, though. You're good. If we could
Okay.
just say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Happiness.
Okay.
Financial stability.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Nice. Nice. All right. Well, for those of you that don't know, we're just going to touch again. Brandon is a day trader, and he's somebody that is rapid firing on YouTube this knowledge like pretty much daily. And can I be the first to say, I know we're a little premature, but I know you're going to get there. 50,000 YouTube
We're
subscribers.
literally 120 away.
We're
I'll
120
probably
away
hit it
from
by
50K, and we're one video away from 700. Do you know that?
Yes.
You're at $6.99.
Yeah.
So this dude has 50,000 YouTube subscribers in less than 700 videos. Dude, that's incredible.
Thank you.
That's incredible. We're going to dig into that. We're going to get into your YouTube channel and the building on that. But I first want to kind of get into the day trading and how you got into it and why you got into it. So will you kind of just tell the people that that either do know you, because I know you have a lot of listeners and viewers that follow you that are probably checking in, but some that may not. So we just kind of talk about how you got into day trading.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much the reason why I started is because growing up, I always wanted to be a police officer, and not getting political, but, you know, as I'm sure you guys saw, police officers started to be looked at differently as, you know, I started getting older. So I was like, okay, I really don't want to do this, but I wasn't good at school. I didn't know anything else that I wanted to do. And then one day on YouTube, I just came across this video of this guy making money trading. And I was like, okay, well, if there's one way out of this, it's going to be trading. So, yeah, I mean, it sparked my interest right away, and I've loved it ever since.
Do you remember your first trade?
Yes. I did not make much money. It was only like $20, $20, but still doing that in the span of what, 5-10 minutes. Imagine.
What was it?
I don't remember the stock. It was so long ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I literally walked away. I put on the trade, walked away from the computer, and came back and saw that I was up that money. And I was like, whoa,
And
this is pretty
exited,
cool.
got out and
Yeah,
took it,
yeah.
took the money and ran. Literally,
Yeah.
you're still running now, bro.
That's right.
Yeah, amen. Why'd you want to be a cop?
Just ever since I was a kid, I don't know, something about it. I liked it.
Yeah,
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
It seemed cool. It seemed fun.
My sister's a cop.
yes, she is.
Fort Myers, Florida. Cape Coral. Cape Coral PD.
They're pretty close
I want
together.
to misrepresent.
Okay.
But they're different. Same, but different.
That's funny that your sister's a cop, because you know what story I'm going to tell. The Mustang in the court. His sister's
Yeah.
younger than us, and I'm like, what, 16 years old?
Yeah,
I got a V8 Mustang. I'm driving too fast everywhere I go. And his sister, I pull in to pick him up. His sister's like, do a burnout. So I slam it.
In our cul-de-sac. which
Rip
was
out.
Like, you know.
She runs inside, tells his parents.
I got a phone call before we made it out of my street. What are you doing? Like, nothing. She's like, why is Kimberly telling us Mitch did a burnout in the court? I'm like, great.
Yeah, and now here she is, probably pulling people over for the same thing a couple years later. No, that's awesome, man. And do you ever think about like changing occupations and still being a cop, or are you just locked in?
No, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is literally the only thing that I want to do. I'll probably do it till the day I die. That's
Yeah.
how much I love it.
Wow. All right. Wait a minute. Yeah. First off, questions over coffee. We forgot to cheers, boys. Oh, yeah. Brandon, appreciate you being on here, man. Thank you so much for coming. Christian, thanks for being here, bro. All right. So what sparked this passion? Just the first trade, making $20? You're like, I can do this forever? Or was it the freedom of your schedule? Like, how did you fall in love with it?
It's just, it interests me to try to understand where a stock price can go by a certain date or, within a few minutes, because you're educated with trading, right? Calls, puts, stuff like that. So just looking at the chart and being able to understand, is this thing going to go up or is it going to go down? And then being able to make money on top of that. That's what had me interested.
Cool. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I don't truly understand calls and puts to like, for somebody like me, or the layman's terms, will you kind of explain what a call is, what a put is, and how that works? And I may kind of interject and have a couple questions along the way.
Yes. So pretty much, if you're a long-term investor, you can just buy the shares, right? So say Apple is trading at $100. Say you only have $100 to trade. There we go. Say you only have $100 to put in, you can buy one share of Apple. If Apple goes up to 101, 102, you're going to make $1, $2. But there's something called options, where you're saying, is the stock price going to go up or is it going to go down, right? And you can take that $100, and if Apple goes up $1, you could make $30, $40. So from options, you're getting a lot more bang for your buck. And yeah, so pretty much calls, stocks going up, puts, stocks going down. If it goes up, you're going to make your money. If it goes down, you're going to make your money.
But how can like it going up $1 make me more? That's what I don't understand is, and we kind of had a conversation about this, almost like relating it to like sports gambling, and tell me if I'm off, but you can kind of pick the favorite or the underdog. Like, let's say we'll compare the Ravens to Tesla, where not only are the Ravens going to beat the Browns, they got to win by 7. You know, is that like a call or put? There's a line where it's got to increase by a certain amount, or is it just got to go up minusculely?
Yeah, so I don't want to explain it in a way that's going to confuse people, but say Apple's trading at 100, you come in and you say Apple's going to go up to 101. So you're buying a call saying that it's going to go to 101. If it goes up to 101, you're going to make money. If it goes up to 102, you're going to make a lot more money. 103, 104, etc.
How does that determine how much money you make off of that?
Yeah, so when you buy the option contract, it'll tell you, like, if it goes up $1, you're going to make this much.
Okay.
And then if it goes up another $1, you're going to make this much. So you have an understanding, if it goes up X amount, how much you'll make.
And on the reverse side, if it goes down, you're going to lose at that same rate?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, the wins must be exhilarating, but are the losses like daunting at times in those situations?
It depends if you're gambling.
Yeah.
Because if you're just gambling and saying, hey, this thing's going to go up, and you're not selling it when the trade proves you wrong, then yes, those losses are going to suck. But if you're taking educated guess, or I'm not going to say guesses, but you're taking an educated approach and you're selling the position as soon as the trade is telling you that the trade is no longer, going to go in your favor, then the losses aren't that bad.
Where do you start? Like, when you wake up in the morning and you're like, where do you get your, where do you get your information? Where do you get your ideas for, like, I'm going to go buy blah, blah, blah. I'm a noob at this. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just trade the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. That's all I trade pretty much. Sometimes an individual stock, Tesla, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, but I just stick to the main stocks. I don't do penny stocks, just they're way too hard to trade. But yeah, so I just look at the charts. That's it. And then obviously through the technicals, which that's going to be really hard to explain, but through the technicals, you have a very good understanding, is the stock price going to go up or is it going to go down?
Where do you get your news from?
Honestly, I don't really even look at news.
Really?
Just the chart, yeah.
What do you look for in the chart?
It's going to be hard to explain. I guess my YouTube channel wouldn't really break it down. Like, okay. I honestly don't know how to word it in a way that's not going to confuse people.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, so you could check
There it
out,
is.
it's Brandon Trades, correct?
Correct.
You could check out Brandon on YouTube at Brandon Trades. Like we said earlier, he's got 699 videos. So if you got some time after this podcast, go check it out. There's tons of information on there. And you say that, and honestly, man, I'll watch some of those videos and I get confused. You know, and I don't know if it's that I just need to do more research and learn this, or if it's just over my head or what. Maybe I'll start by reading the book. Will you kind of go into that? Like, yeah, you're an author of this incredible book, and I think you got more on the way. Like in the bio, you're talking about not being done right. And so talk about that process and what the goal was with the book, if you would.
So I have another book that's done. I actually have 2 that are done, but I have another one that's probably going to drop in like 2 months. So
It's
I'm excited for
already
that one.
fully written out. And
I'm going through and I'm editing it right now, and then
Nice.
I'm going to give it to a professional editor and then copyright it, and then it's published.
do you have a title?
Yes,
Do you want to share it on here?
secret.
It's a,
it's a
Secret for now. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Before we skip past it, talking about the news.
Okay.
Do the charts? Sorry, I should have silenced my phone. Do the charts
Why don't you do that right
precede
now?
the news, or the other way around? I thought the news preceded the charts, but no.
A lot of the times the charts will actually tell you before the news does, which is
Interesting.
super interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
I'm
could
not
open
gonna.
a conspiracy can of worms.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I ignore all news, but like interest rate news I want to know about, or like FOMC, which is the Feds, I want to know about, and inflation news. I mean, those are just the main ones I pay attention to. But like everyday news, like what's going on in the economy, I don't really care about.
And what do you think about the news that you do kind of pay attention to or keep your ear to? You think we're heading in a good direction where stock market's going to be okay? Or do you think it's volatile? Like what are you gauging right now?
From a technical standpoint, it looks like it's gonna go higher next week.
Okay.
That's just
How long have you been trading?
Started late 2017, and then
All right.
took it like really started taking it serious 2019.
So the
like,
reason
right
I
at the
ask is so you've traded through an election already.
Mm-hmm.
How does the market tend to react to an election year?
I mean, it's kind of all over the place.
Really?
Again, it just depends on the technicals. Yeah.
It's funny because I try and pay attention to that kind of stuff. And it seems like to me, it's the complete opposite every time.
It gives you a bias.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really pay too much attention to the
Interesting.
news, because you can look at the inflation news and you're like, holy crap, inflation's terrible. Stock market should go down. But the technicals say something completely different.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
You've
it's-
learned to keep your emotions out of it and just
The way that for the news that I do pay attention to, I'll look at the numbers and then I'll see how the market reacts. And then that's how I base my opinion. So it could be bad inflation news, market goes up. It could be good inflation news, market goes down. Or it could be good jobless claims and the market tanks. So
Is there certain times where you'll just sit out, or are you always trying to get a piece?
I'll sit out.
You'll sit
Yeah,
out.
if I don't see anything that, if I don't see something that fits my criteria, I won't trade.
Do you have any long-term investments?
Yeah.
Or? You do? Yeah,
Definitely.
right. So you're still chilling. When you're sitting out, you're still
Do you move those around, or you just like hodl
Constantly investing.
constantly? Yeah. And I know you probably don't want to give too much advice on like stock picking or certain things like that, but is there a sector, or is there certain technology, or is there a certain, like whether it's tech or oil or gold or anything like that, is there certain things you're more prone to leaning towards?
Yeah, I mean, I like my dividend stocks. So a dividend stock is pretty much you put money into Verizon and they'll pay you X amount per year to hold that stock.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that was a thing.
literally passive income.
Yeah.
So
Some-
instead of having
Wow.
your money in a bank account,
Is that a fixed amount?
yeah, they
Yeah?
tell you, yeah.
Yeah, for instance, so like my first stock was Home Depot. I've had it since I was 11 years old. I got Home Depot at $24 a share. They're trading at 3 something. It split, so it doubled. And I started with 4 Home Depot shares. It split. I got 8. I sold 4 of them. I needed money when I was like a teenager. And those 4, I get a dividend check quarterly. It's like $7.
Now, can you yank that whenever you want?
You can, but to me it doesn't make sense to, just
Right.
because like you're literally getting paid to own a piece
I mean,
of
it's kind of
company.
like interest, really.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
a sense.
They're
Like,
basically like, hey, thanks. Here's
Right.
a little chunk. Now, some allow you to have the option. You can either get that check in cash, or they'll increase the amount of shares that you own. Do you have a preference if that option's available?
Yeah, I reinvest it just because I'm young.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily need the dividends right now, especially because of trading income and other income sources. So I just constantly keep reinvesting it, get more shares, and then, when I'm 50, 60 years old, I'm chilling with the dividends.
Yeah.
So run us through your typical day.
Yeah. What time you get up?
So I'll get up around 5:30, 6 o'clock, go to jujitsu, go to the gym, come home, make breakfast, live stream on the YouTube channel. So when I determine, am I looking for upside in the market? Am I looking for downside in the market? What stocks interest me? I'm doing it live on YouTube every single morning. So people are seeing.
And you're sharing that information before you do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're watching me find these levels and how I'm finding them, and why these levels are of interest to me. So I'll get on there. That's until like 9 o'clock. And then I also help in a Discord server where we trade live with, there's thousands of people in there. So yeah, we start trading live we hop on voice around 9:10, 9:15. Market opens at 9:30. I typically only trade till 11:30, and then crank out a YouTube video and pretty much whatever else I want after that.
Nice.
Well, by then you've done a full day's work. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting early lets you end early, right? That's cool.
Are you on YouTube Live for a specific reason? Have you thought about Twitch or is Patreon another one where you could monetize off of that?
You can
engagement?
go live on Patreon. Can you?
I don't know much about Patreon, honestly.
I'm monetized through YouTube, so I get paid for the live streams. Yeah.
Okay. Just at the same rate as your YouTube normal videos that aren't live, or is it a different algorithm?
Yeah. So they pay you differently.
Yeah.
For the lives compared to the videos,
a certain amount of viewers.
Yeah, I think it's every 1,000 views.
Okay.
They'll pay you X amount. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. And what do you credit? We'll let's jump into YouTube right now if you're cool with that. What do you credit to scaling that channel? Is it just repetition, or did you do something special? Because bro, you're killing it.
I just taught and people loved it.
Yeah.
When I was learning to trade, you could just find basic stuff on YouTube, and then people were like, all right, buy my course, $2,000. And I always said, when I got to the point where I felt like I could teach people, I'd do it for free. So I remember, my first educational video was on TikTok, and it blew up.
First video.
Yes, very first video. It just absolutely blew up. So I was like, okay, maybe people actually like this, right? So I started to make more, and then I started YouTube. I think it was December 2020, December 1st, 2020 is when I started, and people just loved it.
Right during
so
COVID or whatever, right? Wasn't that the heat of COVID?
Well, 19.
That was
19
March.
was? Okay.
Yeah.
But still, lots of people stuck at home and stuff.
for
and
sure.
A good time to...
That's when a lot of people were got into trading, was because of COVID, because everybody was stuck at home.
Oh yeah, they were getting those stimulus checks. They were jumping on Robinhood, and yeah, for sure. Now, do you think if that first TikTok video didn't blow, you would have been as resilient and okay, let's do this, or do you think that kind of fanned your flame?
I think if it didn't blow, I don't know, because that's kind of how I got my name.
Yeah.
Was Brandon Trades from TikTok, because I started TikTok a lot earlier than YouTube, and I built a pretty solid
following there.
Yeah, following on there. Which is funny because I literally didn't even want to do TikTok. I hated social media before, and then my girlfriend at the time was like, "You should start doing TikToks." I'm like, "That's so stupid. Why would I do that?" And she's like, "I bet you there's other people doing stock market stuff on here." So then she followed 3 people, one of them being Jadon, who I now that's my boy. But yeah, and then I was like, all right, I'll do it. And then that first video blew up, and then I made a few more, and they blew up. I was like, okay.
Nice. And
That's
you
pretty
do,
cool.
you have a good group of guys where you guys are incredibly successful, and it seems like you're in each other's corner. How did that all develop? Meeting these guys, and now you're meeting them in person. Were you guys friends online before? How did you build this community, the team bull trading, and kind of everything that you're doing? It seems like you guys are all kind of interwebbed at this point.
Yeah. We all met each other through social media, and then they just became my boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy what social media can do.
I know, man.
If I didn't do that TikTok video,
I was like you. I still
Bull.
kind of am
Yeah.
about social media, but it does some things.
No,
Does do
it
some
connects the
things.
world. There's a lot of value in it. And hey, to everybody on the social media watching us, we appreciate you tuning in. Let's jump back to the book for a minute. That's a big book, man. What was that process like? How long did it take? Did you feel like quitting along the way?
I didn't want to quit because I knew that I'm not going to say nobody, but in my space, not a lot of people have a book. They have courses, pre-recorded courses. I didn't want to make one of those. I just never wanted to be that person to have a pre-recorded course. Oh, my bad.
You're good.
So I was like, okay, let me make a book and let me just put so much information into it. And I just kept writing, and then it came out to 450 pages. I was like, all right, I should probably, stop typing, or else it's going to be another 100, 200 pages on top of that. So
leave room for the second and third books.
Exactly. So yeah, when I went to write the book, it was just kind of like, if I were to sit somebody down right now, you, and teach you from the very beginning, how would I do it? And that's exactly how this came about.
How long did that take?
I think about a year. Yeah. Until I got it actually put out.
So like in your schedule with writing, I know you wake up early, you're working out, you're in the Discord, you're making trades, and you're jumping off. And then is it, do you feel a sense of responsibility to continue working? And is that when it's time to author and write? Or do you feel like, okay, I've earned this, I can kind of relax? And do you have a off switch?
Yeah. So as far as writing this book and the other book, I get in like these certain moods where I'll feel like doing it, and then I'll really crank it out, like literally staying up until 9, 10 o'clock at night, just constantly doing it. And then I might take a few weeks off, kind of just to not go overboard with it and burn myself out, because if I burn myself out and I'm typing, it's not going to come out good.
Yeah.
So I have to be in the mood if I'm going to start doing something like this.
Yeah.
But to answer your question on the off switch, yes, that's very important. We were talking a little bit about it earlier. So yes.
So I know that there's a financial gain. There's a passion for winning. Do you feel a sense of responsibility to share this with people? And if so, what's the goal? Like, what do you hope that people take from it?
People that were in the same situation I was in. So if they're working a job that they absolutely hate, or maybe that kid that just got out of high school is stuck and don't know what they want to do in life, and they're like, well, this dude did it. Why can't I do it? And
give them what? Financial freedom.
Hopefully financial freedom. I will say becoming a successful trader is very hard, but I mean, I'm living proof. There's so many people that do it. So.
And you bought a house recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, congrats on that.
Thank you.
Was your income tough for a loan officer? Was that different than a W-2 job? Was that?
They look at assets in that scenario, or what?
It's hard because you don't have a set income. I could lose everything this year. So getting the loan was very hard. But once you get it, you're fine.
Yeah. Once you got that clear to close, you're like, oh baby, we're here.
Yeah.
We're finally here.
I will tell you, it was very hard.
What's it been like with the new house moving in and all that?
It's excellent.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy just to think like, I wanted my dream house so bad and I got it.
At 24.
At 24.
Kudos, bro.
Thank you.
Nice, yeah, man. So what's next? What's keeping you going?
Honestly, I just want to make sure me and my wife never have to worry about money ever. Hopefully, have my parents financially set. Hopefully, my sister as well. And that's pretty much it.
And when you say financially set, what does that mean? You trying to buy a house for mom, or?
I mean, hopefully that'd be nice, but them never, because my dad really wants to retire and I really want to see him retire. So them not having to worry about bills. Like, I'm sure you guys have seen people get older and they still have to work a job until they're like 80, 85.
Yep.
But I've seen my dad work so hard. That I want him to be able to enjoy retirement.
That's what I was going to ask. Is there a number in your mind where you're like, once I achieve this, I'm done, I'm out? Or is it like you're addicted to the chase and you're going to keep?
I mean, honestly, the money's just a byproduct of it. If you do what you love for
never
a job,
have to work a day in your life.
Money never have to work a day in your life, and the money's a byproduct of it.
Yeah, and you talked about having some of those jobs that you didn't love. What were some of those jobs growing up that you had that you're glad you're not doing anymore?
Pizza Hut was the one job. Yeah.
We all worked at Pizza Hut.
When you asked him that, I'm thinking making pizzas at Pizza Hut.
That's what your answer was going to be?
Yeah,
wow.
Dude, I hated Pizza Hut.
Was it at Westminster?
No, it was Howard County.
Ellicott City. We were both Ellicott City.
Yeah, all of us worked there. You, me, Blake, Caddy, a lot of us worked there.
Tuna
too. Yeah, dude, the crew.
The whole crew
all held down Pizza Hut for a while.
Yeah, man. You remember at Pizza Hut when you'd order and they'd be like, if your pizza's not out in 20 minutes, it's free? My dad would watch that clock and he'd be like, come on, be late. Be late.
Of course he did.
Me, my sister, and my dad would be at Pizza Hut being like, come on, 21 minutes.
That's funny.
Wow, bro. Yeah, that's pretty full circle.
That just took me back, man.
Yeah. Now, what's coming next for you? You got the house, you're aiming on financial freedom, and you're working out, you're exercising, you're writing the book. Is there anything else that is just like for your enjoyment that you're doing personally? Like, you seem like very fit. So like Dave, our last guest, he's training for a half Ironman right now. Do you have something on your schedule as far as anything like that?
No, not really. Just constantly cranking out new books and doing better in my trading, growing the YouTube channel. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I'm sure one day something will pop up and I'll be like, man, I really want to do this. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you were recently married. How long you been married now?
October 8th last year is when we got married. So
okay.
What is that?
6-7 months.
Where'd you get married?
Union Mills, Homestead.
Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. How does your wife impact your life? Is it a distraction at times, or is it like, well, no, I mean, it's like, you got to be locked in, man. These trades happen in seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it can change so fast. I'll check my stocks throughout the day and I'll be like, okay, it's good. And then you get back in and you're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
So having all these things, buying a house, recently getting married, was that hard to stay on track while all this is going on? Or was it an increased focus because you knew you had to perform?
So, I mean, as far as the wife, if I didn't meet her, honestly, I don't think I'd be where I'm at today, because she's like, bro, every single time I wanted to quit, she was right there making sure that I wasn't. Like the times where it was really rough trading, bro, she was always there. The house, when, we started to get under contract and everything and getting closer to closing date, that kind of messed with my trading, just because that's a huge step. So I kind of had to tone back my trading, use a little less size. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can say from personal experience, it's always a tough juggling act, to like, does she get upset when you're wrapped up in trading for too long, or is she always supportive?
She knows that I love it, and she's very supportive.
Sounds like you got a good one, for sure.
And you're still young. You got a ton of time ahead of you, but you guys thinking kids, family, all that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Eventually, one day.
Okay.
Maybe in a few years.
Take your time, bro.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Yeah.
There's no rush.
Coming from the guy with 3 kids. Now, I want to give some value to the listener, the person that's tuned in right now that wants to get involved in the stock market. That's like, I might not have the wherewithal for calls and puts right now, but I do think this stock is a safe bet. I think Walmart's going to be safe, or I think, whatever it may be. Do you have advice on how to get involved and get going?
I mean, opening up your brokerage account, which is going to be first. But before putting any money into it, you need to understand whatever you put into your trading account, if that goes to zero, you should be comfortable with it. I know it sucks to think about, but if, say you put $5,000 into your account and you need that money for bills, mortgage, etc., and you lose $1,000, I mean, you're going to trade with emotions.
Yeah.
You're going to start flipping out. So if you can put money into your account that you are comfortable with losing, it kind of takes all the emotions out of it. So very first thing, you got to open up that account. You got to fund it. You got to get proper education if you're trying to do what I do, like day trading, in and out, swing trading, which, the book, YouTube channel, there's tons of YouTube videos that you can watch. Trying to think what else. Yeah, I mean, just pretty much building that solid foundation. And it takes time too. It's not like you're going to come in and do it in a month. It takes years to get good at it. Yeah. And something we always talk about is, you go to college for 2 years, you get your associates, 4 years, bachelor's, 7 years. Is it 7 for masters or 6?
You can do
6 or
master's
7.
programs.
You're talking to a guy with 0 college credits.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but me, almost me too. But I mean, you can do master's programs in less time nowadays, but it's grueling.
Yeah. Lawyer, to become a lawyer, 7 years. Doctor,
Doctor.
like 7 to 10 years. You got to treat the stock market the same way. You're not going to come in week 1 and make $5,000. Like, you got to put in that time. And that's, yeah.
So I'm the person that took that advice, only invest what you're willing to lose all of. And I luckily was successful in growing that money, but I grew it to a point that now I'm like,
now you don't want to lose it.
I don't want to lose this, and I'm losing it fast right now. And now I'm getting emotional. And I'm hanging on to things. Like, one piece of advice I was given, they say it a lot, it's like, get out of losses quickly.
Yes.
Like, if you're losing, get out quick. I have been holding on, whether I'm studying charts wrong or whether I'm reading the news wrong. It's like I did that advice, built it to something to where now I'm like, wow, I don't want to lose this. Do you have any advice for me, or just to take that advice of like, hey, know that you can lose it all?
I mean, are you day trading or investing long term?
I'm not day trading, but I'm somebody who, like, for instance, during the pandemic, I was like gobbling up Moderna.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember that.
All of that. I got into Moderna at like $50 a share. The whole world was going crazy. And I heard the president at the time say Moderna. And I jumped on and I bought. And I went to buy 4 shares and I accidentally hit 7. And I got 7. And I was like, maybe that's a good mistake. Like, you know, maybe that's a sign that I'm supposed to have 7. And I kept buying. But I'll reduce, I'll switch. So like, I don't know what to call myself. I like pick to a certain point. I don't really have an expiration. It's just when I feel like, oh, I need to get out of this or I need to increase this, I do.
It's kind of like I would say a positioning trader is what I would call that. I mean, if you grew it to a decent amount that you're happy with, just invest it long term.
Yeah.
ETFs, dividends, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Right, get it to a place where you can live off of that. Like what? Like, so how much would you have to invest in a dividend to be able to have, like, you know, a sustainable, like, livable income off of just that residual they're sending you?
You would have to invest a lot.
Yeah.
To like make a
Like, what's a lot?
income.
$1 million. Like, what's a lot?
Well, I'm doing the math on my Home Depot. If I have $1,200 worth of Home Depot and they're sending me a $7 check quarterly, so what, 1.2 million would be like $700? That's still not enough.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it depends on the dividend stock too, because Home Depot doesn't pay that much, but stuff like Verizon or Charles Schwab has a dividend ETF. JP Morgan has one that pays more. I mean, you're talking tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands to make a comfortable income, but still, if you just have your money sitting in a bank, it's not doing anything for you.
Right.
And then if you're doing the reinvestment, like say you buy 100 shares of Verizon, I forget how much they pay a year. I think it's like $2.50 per share. You know, over time, especially if you're young, when you're 50, 60 years old, you're going to have a good amount of dividend income coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, the thing I like most about this whole concept of trading is it pertains to something that my grandfather used to say, right? And you know, you've heard enough about Grandpa. Like he was a man of his business and you know, did quite well. He said, a wise man never works for money. His money's always working for him. You know what I mean? And there's like few things in this world today that, you know, make your money work for you other than this. Like, name me one. You can't, you know? Investing, that's it. It's the only way to
Real estate,
to get out from under
Yeah.
the rat race. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Do you have either additional channels of revenue or hopes to? Like, do you invest outside the stock market in places?
Yeah, or not invest outside the stock market yet. I do want to get into real estate.
real estate. That's what I was
Within
going
a
to
few
ask you.
years.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What's the
hopefully-
vision with that? Like a quad, like where you have condos and apartments that you rent out, or you buy a townhouse and rent it out? Like, where do you
Or
see
just
yourself getting in?
land
I haven't
and
really
sit
thought
on
about it yet. I just want the rental income. I thought about Airbnb, but like the taxes don't make too much sense with Airbnb because they really destroy you on that. So probably just like long-term rentals.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
So just for the record, I've heard that's entering my space a little bit, and I've heard that rentals are a pain in the ass, man.
Really?
The trouble ain't, you know, I mean, it depends, obviously, right?
It's funny,
But-
like what you hear from different people, because with Airbnb, one of the advantages I've heard is after every rental, you get to go in and check your property. And if there is an additional cleaning fee, you charge it to the person. Where you put somebody into a rental for 12 months, you go back into your baby after 12 months and it's just torn apart.
Right,
you know, there's
You're
a lot
put-
of risk involved.
Right, and you're depending on people at that point. That's never good.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
I mean, real estate, I think I said this on one of the pods. I'm not sure which guest it was, but it's like not everyone makes their first million in real estate, but everyone makes their second. It was Warren Buffett quote, I think.
Interesting.
And I think it was Mary Schroth, our last guest, that I said that on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we filmed that episode. I just time-stamped us, but it's all good. No worries.
Yeah.
Now, for the future, do you have like an exit plan where you're going to retire, or do you see yourself literally just for fun always doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it. Like, say I made 100 million, I'd probably still be doing this.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Because what else would I do? Like, I
don't
could just
know.
move out to Hawaii and chill in a house, but if
Sit
I'm
on
not
the
on
beach.
social media doing what I like to do, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna
There's
get
no
bored.
like fishing boat and like, deep sea fishing or anything like that, there's no long-term goal where it's like, when I get to here, I know you said it earlier, like, is there a number, but like, this is it for you. Like, you're
Yeah.
in it. 24 years old, bought a house, have a wife, found your passion, man. That's incredible. Seriously.
Few people get that.
maybe
at
20,
your age,
maybe
if
20
ever.
more years of stress will change my mind.
Yeah.
Right,
A couple
right.
gray
But,
hairs.
yeah.
You
But
know?
as of right now, I think I'll do it to the day I die.
But I mean, you sound like you do a good enough job, like separating the emotion to where
that's key.
I mean, yeah.
That's something that my wife made me like really get good at, because early on when I would have a bad day, cause arguments and stuff, and she was like, you need to figure out how to separate trading and then relationship.
Lots of discipline.
Yes.
Which you did touch on jujitsu, and
Jiu-jitsu,
it's
yeah.
interesting to me that you start your day with correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of martial arts discipline is huge, right? Am I wrong? Like I trained in taekwondo and a little bit of jujitsu, not much, but enough to know like discipline is huge, and I just think that's interesting. Like that's a good way to start your day, man.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going into something as volatile as trading.
And I mean, I also talk about this a lot, that discipline, if you create discipline outside of your life, it's going to come into your trading. Because again, you can go into the market and just put your money in and lose all of it. That's if you're not being disciplined. So if you're having issues being disciplined in the market, taking the right trades, not making mistakes, stuff like that, you got to build discipline outside of trading, and it will find its way into your trading. Yeah.
You touched on it earlier, some advice for people who aren't day trading, like maybe jump into ETFs. Do you give specific advice on like which stocks, like stock picking, or which ETFs? Like, do you on your channel like call out certain things, or do you try and stay away from that?
Not financial advice.
Yeah.
But I personally like VTI. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Not financial advice.
Yeah. And is that muddy water where you have to be careful with that? I know like a lot of people will tiptoe around that.
What is that?
VTI is just a Vanguard ETF. I think it's averaged about a 10-11% return year over year.
Okay.
So
Yeah. And how are they doing this year? This year is good. Last year were they down last year?
Really good. Last year, I think. Let's see. Market change. I think it was November 2021 is when we kind of started to shift from that bull run to starting to pull. So yeah, I think VTI.
And you don't have to talk numbers, but when last year was down, did you make it through up? Like in the down years, are you still making money?
Yeah. You just got to be able to adapt, and that's really important because the market's always changing. So like during COVID, bro, it's so easy to make money.
Yeah.
You say stocks are going down. I remember I literally full ported a Disney puts and Apple puts. Over the weekend, I was kind of like nervous. I was like, oh shit, am I going to lose everything?
You did what to the puts?
Full ported, meaning
Explain
I put every dollar of my portfolio into it.
Damn.
Yeah. So I was a little nervous about that one.
Huh.
Thank God it worked out, because
Yeah.
that wouldn't have been good if it went to zero. But yeah, market open Monday, I sold all of it. I was like, okay, never do that again.
Really? You'll never do that again?
Not full port, no.
Full port.
Yes,
Full
that's what it's
port.
called. Yeah. So if you have $10,000 in your account, you put $10,000 into the trade.
Yeah.
That's full ported.
Huh.
I
You've
like
only
that.
ever done that once.
I did it earlier in my career also,
Okay.
but yeah, not smart to do.
I like it.
That sounds sketchy.
But
My hands are sweating
like
right now.
that. Yeah,
I want to
I'm
full
like-
port something.
during COVID, it was easy because everything was selling off.
Everything.
And then once we found that bottom and started coming back up, we had to, kind of adapt, because again, if you're just looking at the news, you're like, oh my God, everything's so bad, we should continue going down. And then it continues going up and you're like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
So you have to adapt to that new market. So then we had that amazing bull run all the way until, again, November, December 2021. And
Yeah.
I remember we kind of just sat there. I started to struggle there because for a year and a half, 2 years, it was literally pretty much straight up.
Couldn't lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we started sitting there and doing the consolidation, I really struggled, and I lost a decent amount of money because I wasn't able to adapt at that time. But once I was able to make that adaptation and switch, that's when I started to find that consistency. And then as we started pulling, obviously had to adapt again. And then we were just in a consolidation for the last 2-3 weeks. Had to adapt. It's a different market. Mm-hmm.
In those moments where it's nerve-wracking, whether you're full porting or whether it seems like you're making the wrong decision, what do you lean on, like, to get you through it?
Journaling.
Really?
Yeah, I journal a lot. Every single day I journal over my trades. If I make a mistake, like, I don't full port anymore. But if I make a mistake, I go back and I journal, because I think it was last month I made the same mistake 2 weeks in a row. Both of them losing trades. Second time I was super pissed because I literally did the same exact thing that I did the week before. So obviously went back and journaled. I know what I did wrong. Don't make that mistake going forward.
Yeah. Where do you get this discipline and like, where do you get this from? You're getting up early, you're making your bed, you're doing jujitsu, you're journaling, you're capitalizing on stock trading, you own a home. Like, where'd you get this from?
Bro, I have no idea. I've just always been super disciplined. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it was probably my junior year of high school is when I started to switch and like really start to get disciplined, really start caring about my body, going to the gym, dieting. There was like a span of 3 or 4 years where I would not eat a single thing outside of my diet.
Man.
Yeah.
Good for you, dude. To the person that doesn't have that discipline, whether it's me or the listener, do you have any advice on like a baby step or a way to get started?
You just got to do it. It's repetition.
Yeah.
So just like, I like to use this, you go to the gym, right? You do one bench press, 1 rep of bench every day. You're not going to be benching 315, right? But if you're doing more repetition, obviously you're going to start being able to bench more, but it becomes a habit. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, I think I heard you have to do something 3 times for it to start to form a habit. And then after a month, it's locked in or something like that.
Some people say 21 days. Some people say like 63. Like Gary Keller with Keller Williams, his is like way higher than the averages. I think 21 people will say, or some people will say it takes 21 days to start a habit. And Gary Keller was like, well, if 21 days makes a habit, imagine what 63 does. So yeah, 3, I don't think is going to cut it, but it's a start in the right direction. You can't get to 25 without 3,
right,
you know?
Right.
Now you strike me as the guy that does cold plunges. Do you? No. Dang. I was like, yeah, he definitely does. I recently started cold plunging, and yeah, man, it's incredible.
I mean,
I think you'd love it.
I did cold showers for like 2 months, but bro,
you didn't like
hate
it?
that so much.
The plunge is way easier.
Okay.
I hate the shower also. So I bought a 96-gallon trash can.
You did that?
Yeah,
You actually did it?
I put it on my back porch. I took one this morning. It's so much easier to just get in that tub. The shower, it like hits you in different spots. You're in like for me, a small bathroom where it's like, this isn't cool. I put it on my porch. My balcony backs to the woods. So I just jump in there. And while I'm going through that like repetition of trying to catch my breathing, I'm looking at the woods. I'm hearing the birds chirping. And dude, I would recommend, I'd love to hear your feedback, because I think you'd get hooked. You would absolutely get hooked if you started it.
Do you just fill it with water and then leave it?
Like ice cubes?
So I change the water every like week or so, because right now the pollen is just crazy. And I'll close the lid, but I'll come out and that lid will have pollen all over it. Yeah, I'll throw ice in it as it's getting hotter. Like I try and do early morning or late night, because if I get home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun's been up all day. You throw like 20 pounds of ice in there and it melts so fast. So I'm looking at like freezers right now, like that you can plug in and just keep it temperature controlled. And I'm like, am I really going to be the guy with a freezer on my balcony, temperature? And I'm like, yeah, maybe I am.
Get a commercial ice maker and you're good.
Yeah. Well, they're like $2,000
I know.
on Facebook Marketplace.
It's a lot.
Used. Yeah.
It's a lot.
I know. But to buy like $20 worth of ice every day is like, well, it's better than going to the bar and spending money, you know? So
true that.
Maybe that could be my vice. But dude, even at if it gets down to 42 degrees or something, you jump in that water. I just love that mental battle. And you seem like the guy that would like that mental battle also.
Okay. I'll try it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I won't hold you too long. I know you're a busy guy. Is there anything you want to make sure we touch on before we sign off?
I don't think so.
What about you?
I'm a happy camper over here.
Happy camper. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Brandon Rosewag. I want to thank you again, bro. Where can people get your book? And I know they can find you on YouTube at Brandon Trades, but you have any other social medias you want to plug real quick?
Instagram at Carhorns, CARWHORNS. It's verified. Don't follow any fake ones. Don't get scammed. Don't send them crypto. If it doesn't have the blue check mark, it is not me. You can get the book on Amazon, The New Age of Technical Analysis.
The New Age of Technical Analysis. It's the young bucks in the game, changing it, stirring it up. And we appreciate you doing that, dude. You provide a lot of value to me. Last question before I get you out of here. Is there a purchase or something that you want to get that's kind of fueling you?
Not necessarily fueling me, but just something that I'm manifesting in the future is the Nissan GTR that we've discussed previously.
What color?
White.
White. Okay. Yeah, we've talked about this before, but I worked at Len Stoller Nissan when the GTR first came out, and I got to bring it back from detailing. They wouldn't let me drive it, even though I was the lot porter. They made me sit passenger seat, and that car only comes in automatic because it's so torquey. Apparently, it would like
Really?
blow clutches like it's
Really?
Yeah.
Like still to
Am I
this
correct on
day?
that?
I didn't know that.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, our buddy, so Jason behind the camera in the back, one of his friends, Brian, has a Nissan GTR and just did some crazy work to it.
Really?
Like, it was, I forget how much he put into
Man,
it, but he did
it's
some crazy
so
stuff.
torquey that you can't have it
All
in
right.
manual.
Well,
Wow.
dude, you promise me you'll take me on a ride when you get it?
Yes.
All right, cool. Shotgun.
Promise.
You're
It's
going to
only
get
a
it.
two-seater,
I know
so,
you're going to get
you're
it,
good.
dude. And congratulations. Thank you for coming on this podcast, providing such value to these people that want to get involved in the stock market or want to get better at the stock market. If you've been tuned in this long and you're still checking us out, we want to say thank you for coming in, checking us out. Hit a like on that video, maybe subscribe to the channel, send it to somebody. We're doing our best to try and grow this and reach it to as many people as we can. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Brandon Rosewag, and we are signing off. Peace.